So Big Bang method is kind of non-incremental. So in debates, generally we say that all the components should be tested after the integration is done. So let us take, we have 100 components and what it says like, can't we integrate all at once and try to test it, okay, as a whole application. But in practical, it is quite difficult to integrate all the components. But in case of theoretically, if you're talking about it, then it is like it's like it has got advantages. Like all the components, if they are perfectly working, then we can do the integration. But in terms of if we want to execute them in terms of practically, it's very difficult in case if we have components not defined properly. So that it says like Big Bang. So Big Bang is like combining all the components at a time and testing it. So incremental is like we are going to increment, like we take 10 components, 20 components, likewise we are going to increment them. Like, then after we are going to do the integration.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Hi, today is my first day. I just want to know the duration of the course.
Yeah, duration of the course.
Duration of the course is like.
Yes, you can mute on this. So, so Vishwanath, the duration of the course is like 2.5 months. So generally, I'm just giving some buffer time so that if we have some doubt sessions and how do we prepare these resumes and all this can be done as part of these sessions. And other things related to this is like a few things that would be like, out of the portion, like out of the syllabus also, we are going to discuss in terms of like real time, how this testing would be done. So these all things will be discussed as part of 2.5 months. Okay. So, and the course fees is like 10,000 and yeah, duration is like 2.5 months. So we are covering manual testing and automation testing. So manual testing is like 70% of the testing is done. Like manual testing course is 70% of the testing is done, and you can go and get your videos. You can talk to admin team and then provide the access to the videos.
Is the manual testing already finished? You finished the course or
manual testing
in between?
In progress. So we have this documentation and videos are recorded. So you can connect with the admin team and you can get the access.
How about if I want only the automation?
Yeah, automation is also covered. So it will be starting from the next mid of the next week.
So for today class, what is that you're going to teach? Is it like a demo or you're already in between the manual class?
Yeah, demo is already done. It's been like 1 week now. So we have done the maximum course of manual testing. So now it's kind of like we are about to end it. So we have left with few of the topics, like we'll be discussing techniques, we write the test cases, and thereafter we'll be talking about defect life cycle and agile methodologies. Yes, Vishwan, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
So I can attend today's class, right?
Yeah, today's class you can attend.
Okay.
So I'm going to give just overview of this. What are the different techniques that we are going to discuss as part of dynamic testing? So that is like functional. In terms of functional, we have black box design techniques and white box design technique, but white box we don't consider much because we are going to consider only the black box design techniques. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here. So today we'll talk about it, and tomorrow we'll see how this can be implemented as part of testing. Okay. So we have different design techniques that we are going to apply when we are writing the test cases. One is like equivalence class partitioning. Then we have boundary value analysis, BVA, what we say. And then we have like table, decision table. And then we have like use case design. And then we have like state transition. Okay. So these are the design techniques that we consider when we are writing the test cases. So equivalence class partitioning. Let us take an example. If you have a text field, okay. So text field, what are the limitations of it? Limitations are requirements of entering the data, or what is the size of this text field, or what are the characters that we have to consider. Okay, so let us take, we have this text field and we have some requirements for this text field. Okay, what are those requirements? Minimum should be 2 characters and max should be like, it should accept like 25 characters. And first character should be a non-digit.
Are you sharing anything like we are seeing only Zoom page?
I shared my screen actually. Okay, let me stop. Okay, are you able to see the screen? So I just moved it now.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a text field here, and in this text field we have a requirement like minimum 2 characters and maximum 25 characters. And first character should be a non-digit. Okay, non-digit in the sense it should be a alphabet. Okay, alphabet and non-digit and non-special character or special character. It's a non-special character. Okay. And in between, like if you want to add some characters, only underscore is allowed. Okay, and it is mandatory. So these are the different requirements which are there on the field. Okay, let us consider like this, we have 20 fields. And if I ask you to test all the fields, then what you do is like you're going to test all the fields with this requirement. But how do you test it? If you don't have any techniques, you are going to enter 2 characters first, then 3 characters, then 10 characters, then 20 characters, then 25 characters. Likewise, you're going to test. And you're going to check like non-digits, like you'll be putting some non-digit characters, like first you'll put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this, and then after you're going to test it, and the special characters. But how about the testing technique that if you consider as like, equivalence partitioning? So in equivalence partitioning, what are we going to do is like we are going to divide those requirements in the form of like classes. Okay. So classes in the sense, first I'm going to take this one as like the first characters 2 to 25. Okay. So 2 to 25, and these are like non-digits. Those are like A to B and capital A to Z and A to B. Sorry, I just put it in this way. Like you can see A to Z, and the other one is like capital A to Z. Okay, so these are like characters. They should be allowed as part of this. And we talked about like there should be underscore, which is like allowed. And here we can say the other requirements is like it is mandatory. Okay, mandatory, and we can say that Boolean variable. Okay, true or false. So what I did is like I just divided them into the classes. Now you see that if I am going to pick out one representative out of one representative in the sense I'm going to consider a value is like 10 is the representative here. Okay, so 10 is nothing but the value which is considered as like the maximum value. Okay, the maximum size of that particular text, whatever you are going to insert. Okay, so 10 is considered as like a representative. So what I'm assuming is like if I enter the characters like 10 characters in that field, if it is accepting, then I'm assuming that okay, this is the value which is like which lies in between the single digit and double digit. Okay, so it's nothing but if we have a class here, so what we do is like to monitor the class, we have a representative. Okay, that representative, what he does is like he's going to monitor the class. Okay, so he's going to represent that particular class. So in this case, what it is similar to that class when we take the students or number of students are there in the class, and if you say that the particular branch like ECR, CSE, Triple E. So how do we represent? So we are going to elect one person as like leader for the class, and we are going to say that if this class is represented by this particular person. In same way, here what we do is like we are going to consider a representative out of these classes. Okay, so here if I say like minimum 2 characters and maximum 25 characters. Okay, so in between that representative, I'm going to test with that representative and assume that rest of the inputs, whatever I'm going to give in between 2 to 25 will work as is when we compare with the representative. Okay, so let's take an example. If we have this, you can see here. Now you can see here, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to enter the data on admin 123. Now you see, there is no limitation for this particular field. But when we consider the actual applications, I'm going to take Axis Bank. So you can see in real time how this will be implemented. So login customer ID. So here when you see this, these are the set of requirements. See, to know your customer ID, refer to this last 4 digits of the credit card. If you are credit card only customer, then you can see these are the set of requirements and information which is given to you. Okay. When I try to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. See what is doing now? It is like you cannot enter more than this number of digits here. Okay. Let me copy paste into the notepad and see how many number of digits it's going to allow. Okay. Okay, this is disabled. This is another requirement. I cannot copy paste it here. Okay, let's check with other mobile PIN otherwise. Okay, so customer ID, register number. Okay, so how many digits that we have in case of registered mobile number? So we have 10 digits. Okay, let me enter the number. Okay, now you see. Can we enter more than this number? So how many numbers are there? So there are, see, 5 and 5. So only 10 mobile digit number. Okay, so 10 digit numbers are allowed here. So if I ask you to test this, what you do is like you are going to put some minimum value. That's nothing but, see, if you put some value like the minimum and maximum in this case is like 10. Okay, you should have a minimum of 10 characters and maximum of 10 characters, not more than that or less than that. Okay, so in this case, what happens is like it's going to validate. This is nothing but it's an input field. Okay, it's an input field. What is the requirement here? So this is like mandatory and it should accept only digits and no special characters or no alphabets are allowed here. So what is the requirement? What is the class that I'm going to define here? You can see now only the class is like we have 10 characters. Okay, 10 characters in sense characters I'm talking, it will be a numeric character. Okay, 10 numerics. So if I put less than 10, it will throw the error. If I try to enter more than 10, it will not allow me to enter. So this is nothing but it's kind of like a requirement which is given for this particular field. Okay. Now you go to this MPIN. Here you can see some information will be given. See, what is that? Did you see this? Please enter 6-digit mobile PIN. So this is nothing but it's kind of a requirement of this field. So what I'm going to do here is like I'm going to apply the equivalence partitioning. So equivalence partitioning is like we are going to select one representative out of it. Okay. So if I try to enter 0, So it will not like one character at a time. It will not allow me to do that. Still this error will be showing up. If I enter second, third, fourth, 5, 6, now it is accepting. So altogether we have a error message which is showing here is like we should have 6 digits or 6 characters should be inserted and entered in as part of this text requirements for other things also. When you take this UAN number or something. So these are all real-time applications. Okay. So whatever we are talking about, these are hosted, and you can see this is HTTPS which is hosted on it. So here we have some set of requirements. See, it is not allowing me to enter more than the numbers is like it can be like we have 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So let me take altogether we have 12. Okay. So here password. So I'm inserting some password here. See, password does not have any set of restriction, but CAPTCHA has the restriction here. So you should enter this CAPTCHA. And if you try to enter more than this, it's not allowing me to do this. So what is this? It's kind of like you can have, see, UAN number can be like up to 12 digits. And other thing is like, it should be like, it can be something else. Like when you just enter 6 digits, it is also allowing. So it is also allowing. So when I just click on this, so what it says like, please enter 12 digits UAN number. Okay. So this set of things like, how do we test now? So the thing is like, first we'll go with the happy path. That's nothing but we are going to consider the class here. Okay. So one is like 1 to 12. So in between, if you enter anything, this is nothing but invalid categorization. What is the valid categorization? Only 12 characters. Okay. If you enter any invalid categorization, that's nothing but I'm going to categorize in between like no valid and invalid. So invalid is like 1 to 12. In between like 1 to 1 to less than 12. Okay. So when you enter less than 12 digits, it's going to throw the error. If you enter 12 digits, it's going to accept it. Okay. So it's going to validate even. So these are the few things that we have to consider as part of like, requirements. And when we get this set of requirements, like any ranges, if you have to test any ranges, then we are going to apply the equivalence partition. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so this is all about like equivalence partitioning, and next is like boundary value analysis. So here we are going to test the boundaries. As we discussed, like we are going to consider the ranges, right? So to some 25. This is nothing but a range. So to consider the valid and invalid inputs in it, so we are going to take one representative. One is valid representative, one is invalid representative. What is a valid representative out of this out of this ranges, minimum and max? I'm taking 10 is my valid representative. What is invalid? 1 and 26. Okay, these are the two invalid ranges. Okay, so two invalid representative out of this ranges, given range. So now it is fine that we have tested with the equivalence partitioning, and we saw that we don't have any issues with this because invalid and valid, they are working fine. But can we guarantee that this will work as expected? We did not test the boundaries yet, right? So because of this reason, what we say is like we have to test everything in combination of both equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis. In this case, what we are going to do is like we are going to test the boundaries. Okay, 2 is like minimum and 25 is like maximum. This is like the highest boundaries. What is the lowest boundaries of it? 19. 1 is like lowest boundary for this, and 26 is like highest boundary for this. Okay, so here you can see this is like 2 less than 2 and greater than 25. These are like invalid boundaries, and these are like valid boundaries. Okay, so now we have covered, right? So what is that valid partition that we have did? So 2 to 25 is like the partition that we are doing. I'm selecting one representative, that's nothing but 10. And we are going to cover the boundaries 2.26. So these are like invalid boundaries. And what are the valid boundaries? 2.25 itself is like valid boundaries. Okay. So what is the invalid range of this EVP? Like when we say that equivalence partitioning or ECP, equivalence class partitioning. So invalid boundaries is like less than 2 and greater than 25. Okay. So likewise, we are going to club these techniques. Okay. These are the two techniques, equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis. So these are the two techniques which will go hand in hand, and we have to write the test cases in this way. Okay. How do we write the test cases for this? Let us take, we have some set of requirements here. Okay. So let me take this employee name. Okay. Srikanth. Actually, it's logged out. Actually, let me just see what I'm trying to do is like I'm just trying to enter some data here, and I'm trying to see some set of errors here. It is showing like no supervisor name cannot be more than this, or some set of information is given to us here. And a few times you can see that if you are trying to enter some data which is like not accepting the alphabets, only it accepts the numeric values and the underscores in between. So in such cases, we can go with this like technique, and we can apply the we can give the inputs, and we can create the test data for this. Okay. So what is the test data for this? For example, if I try to enter field values like 2 to 25, test data would be like I'm going to give some value kind like values like Ravi underscore Kumar. Okay. So this is a value. Now you can see how many characters are there. Around 10 characters are there. So if it is working fine, then I'm assuming that this is working fine for us. And next time when I just try to enter some like value only R and click on this button, so it's going to throw the error like maximum is like 2 to 25. You can enter the data for this particular field. Okay. So likewise, we are going to apply these techniques. So decision table testing is like kind of we are going to have these actions and associated you have conditions and associated actions for this. Okay. Outcomes of it. So for example, if you go to any supermarket, okay, so we have some kind of customers there, like new customer and the existing customer. Okay, so new customer would get like 50% discount on the purchase, like first purchase, and the existing customer would get 25% of it. Okay, so and there are some discounts like festival discounts. New customer, if he's availing his like he may get some points. Okay, so let us take like in the first purchase he's going to get some 100 points. So he can avail like I'll just take the example of this in the form of table, then you can understand. Okay. So here we have certain table here. So this table. So when do we go with decision table testing? So when we have requirements framed in the form of table. Yeah, otherwise I'll give another example which would fit into this. Username, password. Home page, and here error. Okay. So valid username here it says we are going to say yes. Yes. So this guy would be seeing this home page. Yes. So here valid input no, like password Yes. It's going to return the error. Yes. Okay. Likewise, we have invalid username, invalid password. Here we are going to receive error. So this is nothing but you can see now. Okay. So that's nothing but based on the inputs, we are going to get the output. This is nothing but decision table. Okay. So username, yes. Valid username, valid password. You should be seeing this home page. Then it's like username, valid, invalid username, and valid password. Then you are going to see the error. Okay. And after this, you can see that invalid username and invalid password. You are going to receive the error. So this is nothing but we have a table here. In this table, we have defined the requirements. Based on these requirements, we are going to create the test cases. And this here you can see this is the input for those test cases. Now we have to apply this decision table testing or decision table testing technique. Okay. So here we are going to take this one as like a conditions and what are the input and what are the outcomes of it. So likewise, we are going to apply the technique here. And next we have like use case defined use case design technique. So in this case, what we are going to do is like we have an actor here. Okay. The actor is like the user who is going to use this application and interact with the modules. Okay. So you might be aware of this if you are from the BTech, then you can easily understand. Not from the BTech, but in MCS also we have this diagrams, right? So define these diagrams, use case design techniques. Okay. So when we get these requirements in the form of use cases, then what we do is like we are going to use this technique. Okay. So this is nothing but actor is interacting with the model and model is interacting with the system. Again, system is going to respond back to the user through the model, and this module is going to give the response to the user. Okay. So likewise, again, user will be interacting with the next module and this module will be interacting with this module. Okay. Login. Let us check like this is a login and this login page going to take our details like username and password. So once we enter this username and password, it's going to get validated against the system. If it is valid username and password, this would be moved to your account details. Okay. So likewise, it will keep on transitioning between these modules. That's nothing but it's going to interact with one module to other module. So in this case, we can go with the use case designs. Okay. So here we are going to have a table format. In this table format, we are going to design it. Okay. So let us take an example here. This is user and this is system. Okay. So here we have like enter. Enter card. Enter card. What is the response of this? So here ask for PIN. So this is system responding. Okay. After this, enter PIN. Now it is like validate PIN. Okay. So likewise, what it does is like it's going to give the response, like entering the if user enters the card, it's going to ask for the PIN. This is nothing but user is entering card here, it's going to validate here, it's going to ask for the PIN. Once user enters the PIN number, then it's going to validate and it's going to give the response back. Okay. So after this, you're going to see this homepage. Okay. So validate PIN. Bracket if valid. Show homepage. Okay. Otherwise, retry. Attempt 1. Attempt 2. Likewise, we are going to have this requirements framed in the form of like use case design. Okay. So likewise, we have to frame these requirements based on the use cases. Then we have to write the test cases. Okay. So this is like these are the technique based on the requirements. So if you get any requirements within the we have a ranges, we have to consider the ranges. We have to go with the equivalence partitioning and bottom analysis. If you have any requirements which says like these requirements are given in the form of decision table, table. Okay, not table, not decision table, table. Then we have to go with the decision table techniques. Then we have some requirements which are given in the form of diagrammatical representation, like use cases. Then we go with the use case design techniques. Okay. So some of the things are like we are going to get some things in the form of like state transition in the sense making the switches. Okay, switches between like moving from one state to the other state. So if we are coming across those requirements, then we'll be applying the state transition technique. Okay. So with this, what we do is like we are going to apply all these techniques based on the requirements, and we write the test cases. Okay. So these are the techniques, guys. So in brief, this is like in brief, I discussed about it, but in detail, we'll see that how this can be framed and how do we derive the test cases based on this requirements, based on the requirements using the techniques. Okay. So guys, I'm going to stop it here. So please enroll and let me know if you have any doubts so that we can discuss this in the next classes. Okay. So probably if we are done with the payment, so you'll get the new link tomorrow. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I think they are going to share the new link. So I'm going to inform them that to share the new link. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thanks for your time. Let's meet tomorrow, then evening. Okay.
Thank you.